Good evening. Hello, everybody. Hope you're all well and having a very good week. Oh, very good Friday and looking forward for the weekend. Welcome to ImPossible conversation. The conversation ordinary people share their stories and journey and inspire others. Tonight's guest is Frank Saliki. He's an author and speaker. Now let me bring him on our screen. So I've just invited him. He's going to join in 2-3 seconds, I guess. Hello, Frank. Good
Good
evening.
evening, Saliki.
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. And yourself?
I'm very well, thank you. Oh, shall we start our interview now? Please tell us about yourself.
I'll let you finish your introduction.
I've already done it before I brought you in. Yeah. So could you tell us about yourself a bit more,
Um,
please?
yeah, so obviously I'm an author
Mm-hmm.
of this book, Arise and Shine.
Is that the same book?
Do you reckon they much? I
Yes.
think they do. I think they much.
This is a
I'm
wonderful
gonna
book.
I'm gonna test you in a bit. You're gonna have to tell me what page 27 says. No. um,
Oh
yeah, so I am an author, um, a speaker, and a life coach.
no. Uh-huh.
And I've not always been confident when it comes to public speaking. Believe it or not, that could have been that for me. That was the most scary part of growing up. Was I would never have seen myself as being a speaker at all. It would never have even come to my mind. And I became a speaker because I wanted to help people change their lives because my life transformed. My life has not always been this way. I've
Mm-hmm.
had difficult times in the past. I've gone through so much in my life, and I just want to help other people see the possibilities when all they can see around them is obstacles.
Excellent. So if I ask you, which one would you say first? Are you author and speaker or are you speaker and author? Which one would you rate a bit high?
I became a speaker first before I wrote anything.
Okay.
So I think I'll
And
be a speaker. Uh,
you'll be speaker. But I know that English is not your first language, is that right? And you wrote
no,
your book in English.
Yeah, English is not my first language because I actually lived in Zambia for the first 15 years of my life.
Uh-huh.
So when I moved to the UK in 2005. So English was not my first language. And I think that was the most scariest thing when I started this journey. Somebody said, you know what, it'd be great if you wrote a book to just get yourself out there. And I remember the first thought was, oh my goodness, I don't think my English is that good to write a book. And that was the first hurdle I had to overcome and say,
Mm-hmm.
you know what, don't look at what you haven't got. Don't look at what other people haven't got. Just look at what you can do
Yes.
and just go out there and do it. There's so many people who can speak and write better English than me who keep saying, I'll write a book one day and they never really do it. What really matters is going out there and actually doing it.
Exactly. And we've got quite a few viewers here. Hi, Arnold. Hello, Mindy and Batot. Yeah, just saying hi
Hello,
to the
everyone.
people. Hello, yeah.
Hello.
Mm. So how long did it take for you to write a book in your is it second language or I know it's not
English is my
first language,
third language.
third
And it took
language.
me it took me from starting to write to have it published, it took me about 2 years. And it took that long because there was a there was a period of time when I actually doubted what I was doing. So there was a
Mm-hmm.
period in that journey where I actually put it away and thought I'm never going to do anything with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I just put it away. But I'm glad I didn't in the end.
Yes.
So it all took about 2 years
Mm-hmm.
to finish. But I wrote it quite quickly. I was very surprised at how quickly I wrote it because
Mm-hmm.
from the first draft I wrote it in like 6 months.
Really? Only
Yeah,
six
first
months?
draft I wrote in
That's
six
quite
months,
quick. Yes. Uh-huh.
which was very quick, which
Mm-hmm.
surprises me because I was not really confident in my own abilities to write. But I wrote that very quickly. And sometimes we doubt our own abilities because of what we think we're not good at. There's not
Yes.
a lot of people who can write a book that quick.
Uh-huh. Could you tell us more about the process you've gone through? How does it work when you write a book? You just like get up one morning and I'll write it, and then it just doesn't happen like that, isn't it? What's involved?
It is, I have to say, the first, it is knowing what you want to talk about. Now,
Mm-hmm.
why I always say to people, when somebody asks me, did you write a book because you wanted to say something? And I
Mm-hmm.
always say, no, I did not write a book because I wanted to say something. That won't motivate you. I wrote a book because I knew I had something important to say.
Yes.
That is the first step that when you're writing a book. When you're
Uh-huh.
writing something, it's not like, oh, I want to be popular, I want to be famous.
Mm-hmm.
That means nothing. What if you're writing a book and you write a book, let's say you spend £1,000 on it to get everything done, and it's going to change one life only. Are you still going to write it?
Mm-hmm.
And that for me is the first step, is why am I writing it? Why should I even write it? What is the outcome? If somebody picks up the book, what do I want them
Mm-hmm.
to read, to see from it, to get from it? That is the first step.
Yes.
And the second step is a message you are sending. What message do you want to send for anybody who reads the book?
Mm-hmm.
For me, when I wrote Arise and Shine, I looked at other young who are not doing so well. But then
Mm-hmm.
as I carried on writing the book, I realized I have to I have to make the message be applicable to everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So as my book goes along, if you've read it, you'll see that at the beginning it's all about high school, and as the book goes along, it touches everybody's lives. So it's all about what do you want your readers to get from your book? What do
Mm-hmm.
you want your read after they put the book down? What do you want them to think about themselves?
Yes. Uh-huh.
And what actions do you want them to take after they have read your book? And that is the
Mm-hmm.
most important thing. It's not about me. It's not about what I've experienced. It's not about what I've gone through. I
Mm-hmm.
share the examples of what I've gone through, but the most important thing is what is going to happen to the reader after they've read their book.
Yes, and a content-wise, yes, of course, definitely. But could you tell us a bit more the process involved? Okay, you finished your first draft is ready. So would you send it to the publishing house, or like in that respect, how does it work?
So it's quite a few options. When
Uh-huh.
I finished writing my book, I phoned up a few publishing houses.
Uh-huh.
Then I realized that there's so many options to publish your book.
Right.
So for me, I used a self-help. Well, I used a publishing house that would just publish anything.
Okay.
So you send them a manuscript. So you can either say to them, right, I need an editor, which
Uh-huh.
is a must. The amount of books that people send out there just like no editing, just a no. Don't send the book out without editing it.
Of
Have an
course.
editor, have somebody
Mhm.
look at it
You definitely
because
need different eyes
you
from a
you need a
professional's
different
point
eye.
of view. Yeah.
Yeah, and because when you've written something, if you're proofreading yourself, you know
Mm-hmm.
what you want to say, so you can't pick up on those details.
Mm-hmm.
So I had it proofread, and it
Mm-hmm.
came back. I couldn't believe it. It came back. It still had some errors in it as well. So
Mm-hmm.
then I had to send it to a proofreader. So I had edited and proofread. So
Mhm.
I had two people who actually looked at my book before I put it out there.
Mhm.
And after two people looked at it, then I thought I was happy. So you can find an editor, you can find
Mhm.
an editor to edit your book. You
Yeah.
can find a publishing house who will publish anything for you,
Mhm.
or you can send it to a publishing house. One of the publishing houses that contacted me wanted my manuscript without me paying anything, but I would have no rights to it.
Mhm.
Which I was not very happy about. I was like, this is my work.
Yeah.
And so I used this publishing house. So I paid a fee for them to publish my book.
Mhm.
Then they just print off as people order copies.
Right.
But at the moment, there's also another cheap option. If you really want to get your work out there and you think I've got no money at all, I can't afford £750 or something.
Mhm.
Amazon Publishing. You can publish on Amazon for absolutely nothing.
Okay.
So you can literally just you get your manuscript, and please make sure it's edited, it's proofread. You
Mhm.
get Because then you literally just upload it on Amazon.
Mhm.
Within 48 hours, your Amazon your it is approved,
Mhm.
and guess what? Book is printed.
Do they not require the minimum copies or something like that?
No,
Because
no,
it's
no.
digital. It's just print
It
out,
is
isn't it?
it is digital, and they
Mhm.
print to order. So when
Mhm.
somebody orders the book, so then
Mhm.
they'll print the book, and that costs you
Amazing.
nothing. Yeah, it costs you absolutely nothing. So
Uh-huh.
obviously, with the loyalties, they take their card. Amazon takes their card, and you take your card,
Mhm.
and you probably make a lot. You make if you are in if you want to make more money, you probably make more money doing it that way.
Yeah, sounds like it. So, because I remember you have your own, is it your own page to help out
Yeah,
people who wants to be published or
but
the
yeah,
non-fiction writers forum or,
yeah.
uh-huh. Could you tell me more about that? Is it why, how
So
you organize it? Because you are admin on that page and you facilitate, help out other
yeah,
writers, don't you?
yeah. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
I'm I'm admin on that page. I'll
Mm-hmm.
post the link at the bottom of this video later on, and
Mm-hmm.
of the group. And what we do in that group essentially is just give advice to new writers. It's the process, because when I started, I didn't know any authors at all.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a process of everything that you go on your journey from. I've got a writer's block. I don't know where it's going. What a lot of people do when they start writing, they reach a point where you think, oh, I don't even know where I'm going with this. So they
Mm-hmm.
stop. Actually, that means just take a break, just reflect on it. It come back
Yeah.
to you. So
Mm-hmm.
it's just giving that support to go on. And then we get to the phrase where authors publish their books. Again, this is a mistake that a lot of people do. They pay for lots of adverts to have their books when their book is out, so that somebody can market it for them. And they
Okay.
pay all these marketing agencies lots of money to do
Mm-hmm.
this job for them. And
Mm-hmm.
actually, it doesn't work that way.
Okay.
Books only sell when you get reviews, when people are saying great things about it.
Mm-hmm.
And when a book goes to the marketing, if you're a celebrity and a marketing company does a marketing thing on your book, you're probably going to sell a lot. But if
Mm-hmm.
nobody knows you and you're paying about a friend of mine I know paid about £350
Mm-hmm.
um to have their book marketed,
Mm-hmm.
and in that month they sold no books at all.
Really? So,
Yeah, with all that
uh-huh.
marketing that the company was doing. So it is about teaching authors to know how they can market their book, because
Uh-huh.
nobody can sell your book better than you.
Yeah.
So it's about getting your book to the right places, to the right people,
Uh-huh.
getting getting people who will read your book and will review your book and will recommend it to others.
Mm-hmm.
that will sell you a lot more books if you are not a celebrity than putting a lot of adverts that people
Mm-hmm.
do, which I did as well. I did make a Facebook advert, and what I get was people just commenting on there saying, "Very good, well done, congratulations," and so notebooks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, not actually buying it. It's just
no.
okay. Um, how many members have you got in your page? Is
So
writing
in
is a
my
quite
group,
popular, in your group or page, yeah.
so at the moment in our group we've got up just under 500.
Mm-hmm.
We've got under 500. I just
Mm-hmm.
supported one of one of our members. She lives in France, so
Mm-hmm.
she contacted me to see how she wanted to publish a book, and she just recently published a book called The Tough Cookie Philosophy.
All
It was
right.
published last week, so
Really?
that was great. Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
I supported her through the process of writing her book, um, finishing it in the end,
Uh-huh.
getting the right editors for her, and all the last bit of it, and
Mm-hmm.
she published the book, which is great. Which is why the group is there for, to support the authors to actually achieve their dreams, which
Yeah.
I like seeing. Like people got dreams, people got dreams to do something, and sometimes they will be lacking in the knowledge or something, and just to have a place where they can have a support to live their dreams is great.
Yeah. So basically there are 500 writers, authors working on their books, and some of them is already published.
Yes.
Mm. And then helping out other people who wants to publish their book.
It's all about helping. It's all about helping each other,
Mm-hmm.
and it's quite incredible. Somebody asked me and said, "Why would you help somebody else? Aren't you just bothered about selling your own books?" And it's something
Mm-hmm.
that Zig Ziglar used to say all the time. You can have everything in life you want, if only you can help enough other people get what they want.
Exactly. Yeah. So you got another book coming up, or is there anything in progress?
At the moment, I'm writing a book. I'm in the process of writing a book called
Mm-hmm.
Finding My Voice.
Finding My Voice.
Finding My
Mm-hmm.
Voice.
But I remember your event was called Finding Your Voice. You've
Yes.
recently organized an event, haven't you?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So
So,
I had an event on the 26th of January called Finding Your Voice. So that was
mm-hmm.
my first motivational speaking event. Did
Mm-hmm.
quite well.
Oh,
Still got, still
yes,
got the
that's your
adverts just
poster.
to remind me of the day, and I'm still reflecting on the day and how the day went. So this was my
Uh-huh.
first motivational speaking event I did, and it was great. It was great to get the first one out of the way because I've been planning to do it for a year or two. But you get those doubts. Shall I do it? No, I'll do it now.
Mm-hmm.
Do it next month. I'll do it, and then
Mm-hmm.
2 years passes by. So it's great to get it out of the way, and it felt great. And the event the title of the event was so appropriate. It's called Finding Your Voice, and for me, it was a day of finding my voice as well, because
Mm-hmm.
it was a day that I left this room and actually went out there and said, "This is my message. This is what I do." And
Mm-hmm.
I felt like a genuine speaker because I was not only telling other people that they can live their dreams, I was actually leading by example, which was
Mm-hmm.
great
Yeah.
because then they become more authentic because you're not just telling people they can do great things when you're not doing great things yourself. So it was
Yeah.
great to have that event, and it was it was the reception that you get, the feedback that you get, and we had a few people who were having difficult times in the room, and they've
What you
gone
mean?
away and a few people were having obstacles in their way on their life journey.
Right.
So yeah, and they went away from the event and they came back, and the feedback was that was a right event for them. They feel great about life. They can see the possibilities. So
Uh,
it was great to help other people see the opportunities that are around them, even when
mm-hmm.
they're going through difficult times.
Very interesting. It's it's surprising that lots of people might benefit a lot from that kind of event, and not ordinary people. They just can't go out and then attend to one, because I know like some big events, they cost fortune. Like Tony Robbins event at the moment, it's the cheapest ticket. The cheapest ticket was £800, wasn't it? It's just so expensive. And some others are like specialized, but then yours is motivational event for anybody.
It's yeah,
Yeah.
it is for anybody to go. And in my event, I made sure I covered, and it's great because I knew the range of people who are coming, and some
Mm-hmm.
of them I knew what they're going through. So for me to do what I do in the setting that I do, I look at what
Mm-hmm.
other people are coming, and I
Mm-hmm.
spend hours before the event thinking to myself, what can I give? So if somebody's going through this situation, what can I give to them? What can I give to the other ones going through? So I spent hours just to make sure that I cover as many angles in
Mm-hmm.
my talk. That
Yeah.
I don't just say something that touches one person.
Mm-hmm.
That I say something that touches different people in the room.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, that is the most important. And I think a lot of people we attend a lot of things in our lives, don't we? We go to
We do.
concerts, we feel
Yes.
great. We go to
Mm-hmm.
concerts, we spend money on football, we spend money on the other things. And when it comes
Mm-hmm.
to spending money on personal development, a lot of people it's not something that they think they should be able to do.
Mm-hmm.
When I began this journey, I haven't been speaking for a long time. I began this journey in about end of 2014. And it's been a process to learn to speak properly, to learn to present properly.
Mm-hmm.
And that has been an average Brit probably reads about one book a year. I read about 5 books a month because I'm in this process of learning and different. And I read things that probably I would never read. I
Mm-hmm.
go and read things I'm not interested in at all because I want to understand the people that I'll be talking to.
Mm-hmm.
Because it doesn't matter how great a speaker you are, if you do not relate to their lives, your
Mm-hmm.
speech will just go on deaf ears. Because
Yeah.
everybody wants a speaker who absolutely relates to them, relates to their lives.
You need that connection. So you need for between audience and the speaker. So if you don't know them, there is no point. It's not just your stage,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah.
There's no point. Yeah, it's important for me because when I am speaking, I'm not like a rock star. Go on, I'm not like a rock star. I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to say I'm not here to tell you how you want to be. I'm here to share with you. And somebody said to me, "Do you think you're a teacher of life?" I said, "No, I'm not a teacher of life." I read this from somewhere, so I use it. I said, "I'm not a
Mm-hmm.
teacher of life. I'm a full-time student of life and a part-time teacher of life.
Mm-hmm.
I want to learn. I want to constantly learn. Why my I want to know why my audience think the way that they think."
Mm-hmm.
And I have to be prepared as a speaker to be challenged, which happened on the day of finding your voice. Because after I spoke, one of the people who came and challenged me on something.
Okay.
Now I don't have to go, how dare you challenge me? Why don't you just listen?
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I don't have nobody has to believe everything I say.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm not here to say this is how you go and do it.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to believe. And the truth is, sometimes some things I will say will work for some people, and something I will say will not work for some people.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how it goes. And as a speaker, I have to be prepared for it. I have to be prepared to be challenged. I have to be prepared for somebody to question something that I say.
Yeah. Because everyone's different. It's, people are so unique. So there
Exactly.
is no right or right or wrong answer, as well as there is
Yeah,
like no set in stone
yeah.
approach
It's
to
it's
anything, like for
it's
everything.
embracing.
Hmm.
That's correct. It's embracing the uniqueness of everyone.
Yeah, exactly. So, what's your story behind all this finding your voice? Finding my
It's
voice, yeah.
so finding my voice. It goes back a long time ago. It's my first day. It was my first day of primary school, and my first day of primary school, my year one teacher encouraged everybody to sing this little song. It went along the lines of Frank Saliki is a fool. Frank Saliki is Mr. Bean. So I grew up when I was in primary school, people calling me Mr. Bean wherever I went. So I lost my confidence in myself quite earlier on in my life. And one
Mm-hmm.
thing I didn't have was a voice. So, for example, I could not speak up when people bullied me because I accepted that.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever I grew up, I did not question how people treated me. I did not question if I was turned away.
Mm-hmm.
It all and it all came to. I remember one time I was look after I graduated from university. I was looking for a job, and I had to go to for this job for an agency. And when I turned up there, the manager said, "Oh, they didn't tell me you were black." But I did not at that point. I did not register the fact that you can't be saying that because I did not have my own true voice. So I just
Mm-hmm.
accepted that situation and I took back.
Mm-hmm.
Like now, I look back and thinking, well, today I'll tell him where to go. But
Yeah.
at that time,
Mm-hmm.
it was what I was. It was what I accepted. I accepted that's
Mm-hmm.
how people treated me. I did not expect
Right.
them to treat me any better. So I accepted. So I did not have that voice for anything in my life
Mm-hmm.
because I just accepted what life throws at me.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. I can't do anything with it. So this notion of finding my voice is where I reached a point to say, actually, this is not what life is supposed to be. The
Mm-hmm.
standards that I set for myself, the standards that I should accept from other people, the standards that I should treat other people on, and the standards that people should treat me on. And those standards, I have to set them. So finding my voice, and I always say this, finding my voice is not about standing at the rooftop, shouting at the top of my voice, saying, I am king.
Mm-hmm.
Actually,
Exactly.
it's deliberately waking up every day, doing something that you love, doing something because that's what you want to do. And not a lot of people do enough of it. Not a lot of people do the things that they love. And it's about waking up and say, you know what? I want to write the book. I'm going to write one. I'm
Yep.
going to climb Kilimanjaro. You know what? I'm going to climb Kilimanjaro. Whatever
Yeah.
crazy thing you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about waking up and doing all those things. You can't believe, like what I do now. I don't think I went through depression. I had low self-esteem. By the time I made a decision to become a speaker, do you know one thing I hated the most? The sound of my voice. So you see how that goes. I gotta speak and then I gotta make all these videos and I gotta listen to my voice and every time I look at the video I'm thinking, oh my voice again. And that is the point where you just and that's the point where I go, I had to overcome that obstacle saying, this is what I want to do with my life.
Okay.
And this is what I want to change.
And that's very interesting. So, what's the most important thing I should know about you as a person?
I think for me, I love people.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely love people. I love to see people do well. I love to see people change their lives. I've got, in my way, it's funny because in my other job, I would go around the office and I know like almost everyone in the open plan office
Mm-hmm.
because I'm interested in people's lives. I'm interested in what their families do. And for me, it's a love for people. And that's why I do what I do because I just love to see people do well. And
Mm-hmm.
it came to the fore because when I published Arise and Shine, I left a few copies in places like cafes and buses just to get publicity.
All right. How
And
many?
I used to leave like one. I think
Uh-huh.
I put in total I put like 15 books in different places and
All
cities
right.
and all that.
Uh-huh.
But this one day, he was about in his 30s. This man walks over and he goes, "Are you Frank Saliki?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm getting famous already." um, and he says, "I found your book, and it really, really changed my life."
Uh-huh.
And and then he said, "Do you want to come home? Do you want to just come home for a cup of tea?" I was like, "I'm really busy." And he said, "No, but do you just want to come in and have a cup of tea? You were so insistent." So
Uh-huh.
I went and I got into the house, and the most amazing experience ever. I walk into the house. He looks at his wife and he says, "Look who I found." His
And the
wife
wife
walked
went
over.
like, oh, Frank Saliki.
I never met this woman.
Uh-huh.
Comes over, right? Gives me a hug. And then goes on to say, before my husband found your book, all he used to do was go to work, come back, he'll go out with his friends, never really cared about his family. But
Mm-hmm.
ever since he read your book, his life has absolutely transformed for the better. For me, that was one of the most humbling moments. And I just have that feeling, just realizing that these kids are going to have a father who really cares.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, then I made a decision. So this is what I want to do. This is what we do as speakers and authors. This is what it can transform, literally
Yeah.
transform families' lives.
You want to touch more lives and positive changes, and you contribute. The people have to change their lives, etc.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. So, what
Because
do you think is the what do you think is the driving force in your life? In your life, what's the driving force?
I think for me, the driving force in my life, like as I mentioned, I was I was not a happy person. I was not a happy person growing up.
Mm-hmm.
And just to realize the only way for a human being to be happy is to give more. So for me, it's about giving.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the more I give, you have a purpose, and it's what can I give, and it's what we give to people. It's what
Yes.
we give to other people. You know, there's so much in the world. People they always want something. My grandfather was used to say this to us. One time we all was cousins. It was lots of us. My
Mm-hmm.
grandfather said, "Do you know if all of you served each other, if all of you served each other, everyone will be served. But you know the problem? Everybody is waiting to be served. So there's no one to
Exactly.
serve."
Yeah. That's very good one, isn't it?
I like that has
I
always
like
stayed
that.
with
I
me.
like that a lot.
And
So
for me,
instead
that's
of
what
waiting, you just make a step and start making things happen. You start
yeah, that's
serve to others rather than wait and get served.
yeah, and that's the world we're living in. So many people just wanting to be served, but
Mm-hmm.
there's not enough servants out there because everybody wants to serve, and as long as everybody's waiting to be served,
Mm-hmm.
no one will be served because there's no one to serve.
Yeah. So, what do you value more, intelligence or common sense? Which,
I reckon
because
you
people
need
are
both.
very different. You need both, exactly. But which one do you
You need
value
both.
most as a person, as an individual, for you?
I reckon the thing is, both of them have really served me really well because I have to say, when I started this journey, I have to say at some point I was really naive. I made mistakes that I should never have made because
Mm-hmm.
I just did things because I felt like I gotta do it. this is what this book says I should do.
Mm-hmm.
So it's actually using both. What does the information say? Does this actually work? So I will probably go with both of them. I think
So
if you've got intelligence and you've got
50-50.
common sense, it will serve you really well.
Yeah, yeah. So is there any fun? What's something that no one guess about you?
Something most people would never probably guess about me is that I'm a decent opera singer.
What?
There we go.
You are what opera singer? You are opera singer.
Yeah, I'm an alright opera singer. I can sing some opera songs. I'm
Come
not
on,
singing one now, by the way.
let's have
I'm
one.
not doing it.
No,
I'm
we
not
will.
doing
We will.
it.
Come on.
Oh, you put me on the spot now.
Come
Um,
on.
you're not gonna let this go, are you?
I don't think I will.
I'll give you a couple notes then, shall I?
Yes, please.
Caro mio ben, im iarin.
What? Is that it?
I said
No,
couple
come
notes.
on.
Caro mio ben, im iarin, senza riti l'amicico. That's enough.
Oh my God, that's amazing. You see, we just don't know each other, and people's got so many hidden talents, aren't they?
It's
That's amazing. That's
everybody's got
amazing.
talent. Everybody's got great things. I'm probably I'm probably a better speaker than I am a singer. That's another story.
Oh, wow, wow, wow. I'm going to put the minute, whatever minute it is, Frank's going to sing. That's amazing, absolutely amazing. So if I ask you, if you could be doing anything and be anywhere right now, what and where would it be?
If I could be doing anything
Or anywhere
anywhere
at
right
the
now,
moment, like right now, there is no limit. You have all the finances,
there's no limit.
everything's just here, there, yeah, no limit exactly.
From where my life is, it's probably the two things I could be doing anywhere. The one thing I could be doing from where my life is at the moment, I would love to be anywhere speaking. If I had, I would be love to be anywhere speaking to a crowd of people. But there's another thing that I love the most is now and again I walk into town and I just speak to young people about their lives, how they can change their lives. And I love
Uh-huh.
doing that. And I love the expression in their faces when they hear somebody who's never told them what they can do. And that moment where they go, I can do something special with my life. So
Uh-huh.
if I had one place to be, I would like to be in a place where I could just be speaking to young people and telling them the possibilities around. Because at the moment, a lot of times what they hear about is what they're not good at or what they don't have.
Yes.
What they look and sometimes I sit there and I watch a television program not because I'm watching the television program to enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm watching it to study people's behaviors.
Mm-hmm.
What like at the moment? What is it like for teenagers and out there?
Mm-hmm.
And for me, if I had a time, one place I'd like to be is in a room with young people, just telling them how special they are themselves and how important it is for them to be individuals, to be able to do great things and to be able to do the great things in life that they want.
Mm-hmm. That's, yeah, young people. They are our future, aren't they? So
Yeah, yeah, they're our
it's the
future,
most.
and we forget that. And to what we subject them to.
Mm-hmm.
One of the programs I put on watch was that Take Me Out on ITV,
Oh
and
yes. Is
and
that
I put it
lots
on,
of
and
girls? Lots of
yeah,
girls and one
yeah,
boy. Yeah.
yeah, and they have to pick, and then you know what people talk about, and then people will talk about great teeth, great eyes, great muscles, great body, and all that not.
Mm,
But nobody talks about integrity, honesty, and
yeah.
determination, know that, and all the important things that keep you going in your life. And we're putting our young people in this position where you gotta be this, but we're not actually equipping them with the things that will actually really serve them for the future.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Totally agree. So, because you want to speak to young people and teach them and show them what can they do based on your experiences. But then I was just wondering, do you ever get into bad mood? How do you handle being in a bad mood?
Um,
What do you
Bad
do
mood.
differently? Yeah.
So for me, bad mood is it's quite interesting because I go very quiet. Believe it or not,
Mm-hmm.
I go very quiet, and I like my own space.
Mm-hmm.
So I like my own space when I'm in a bad mood. So, for example, when I come back from work, I will probably run a bath and read a book in a bath just to get the moment for myself. So, my mood, when I'm having a bad mood, it's all about having that space and creating that space and actually trying to find out why am I in a bad mood.
Mm-hmm. So reflection and then self-awareness, sitting
That's
down
it.
and
Yeah,
okay, that's wonderful.
yeah, because I just hate the fact that if I'm in, I hate, I don't
Mm-hmm.
like when people go when in a bad mood, they'll just like snap at you. I really don't like that ability, that thing of being able to snap at my loved ones. So I
Mm-hmm.
actually just take myself away.
And sort yourself out
Yeah,
yourself.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's
know.
a great idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because I think like we're nearly to the end of our interview. The last question I would like to ask you is, what do you wish someone would ask you?
Do you know what I always wish somebody would ask me?
Mm-hmm.
I've I've got a few friends who've gone through really difficult times and really difficult moments. And sometimes I look at them and I say, listen, I have gone through difficult times.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the time, the only thing I wish they would ask me is, help me. I just, that is a moment. And I always say to a lot of people, don't, whatever you're going through, make sure you ask for help. Don't just go through life with everything without asking for help. And it's not the easiest thing to do because we think it's weakness sometimes. But the more help you get, the easier the life began. I talk about how I went from where I was, but
Mm-hmm.
there have been so many people who have been there to help me. There have been so many people who were just there. My wife,
Mm-hmm.
for example, bless her heart, when I was going through depression in my second year university, I was living in Newport, but I would come to visit for the weekend, and I'll be asleep all weekend. And all she
Mm-hmm.
would care about was, is he fed? Is he watered?
Mm-hmm.
And because I had spoken out of what I was feeling at the time, I was able to get that help from the people around me. That
Mm-hmm.
is the one thing I wish for people, just say, help me, because we all need a helping hand.
Yes, help me. That's true. But then I always wonder why people just go and then offer help or maybe just check how you're doing instead of
It's it,
instead of waiting people to go have bad problems.
it is a
I
boundary,
think
isn't it?
I don't think there should be any boundaries
I think
because
it is for me. Like I will go and help. I will go and help anybody if an opportunity comes up. The thing is,
you're saying
you
that
can't.
if anyone
No,
come and ask me, I would help.
yeah.
I
I
would
think
go
the
and ask
difference.
everyone, are you all right? Are you all right? I don't need to wait that person could be doing very well or just normal or they doing I would just go
I
and
think.
ask.
I think the difference
I don't
between.
need to wait.
I think the difference there is if you know there's something going on, you can always offer a helping hand. But the chances are they might not be telling you anything. When somebody comes to you and says, help me, what they're saying is, I've really tried the best I can do, and I'm really struggling, and this is where I am. That is a point that they're opening their heart up for what is going on. Because the worst thing that we can do is go to somebody, go, no, I think you're not fine. I want to help you. They'll be
No,
like, whoa.
not in that respect. Not in that respect. I am going to not in that respect. I think we just communicate with people more often and then
Yeah,
just not really I want to help you type of conversation. It's just are you doing all right?
yeah,
I'm just
yeah,
saying
and
hi. Yeah.
yeah, and
Just
it's a
making
small
sure
talk.
everyone's okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
and
then, because that's a relief, isn't it? Because,
yeah, it's having conversation with people, and this is something that people don't have. So we live
mm-hmm,
in this world where there's so much technology. If you're on the train or whatever, there a lot of people just sat. We all sat on our mobile phones, and what's
mm-hmm.
just incredible is you get lonely people surrounded by hundreds and hundreds of people because nobody wants to talk to each other. Like you got somebody sat on the train, very sad. You can tell it's very sad, but the chances are nobody on the train will go, "How are you? Anything I can help you with?"
No, that's a wrong approach.
It is, it is a lot on
It is just how you approach to that person, I guess.
how you approach it. It
Yeah,
comes
yeah,
out
it
how
is
you approach
approach. Not you just won't say people. It looks like you need a help. That
Oh
would
no no no
be
no
really, yeah, that
no!
would be really, yeah. Okay, that's
You need to
interesting.
sort yourself
Yeah,
out.
it would probably never, it will create never-ending conversation. Definitely, I would
No,
say. Yeah, it's been absolute pleasure having you in I Am Possible conversation, Frank.
absolute
And
absolute
thank you
delight.
very much for joining us.
No, thank you.
And yeah, so if anyone's watching on live or maybe in replay, if you have any friends and families who would like to share their stories and their journey with I Am Possible conversation, just text me and message me, let me know. And thank you very much for all joining us. And there is a Julie, Lynn, Martha, and Mindy. Thank you. And
Thank you, everyone.
we'll see you on Sunday. Thank you, Frank. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.